backlash to Sadiq Khan's despicable ULEZ scheme has been fierce, but make no mistake, Labour will not be deterred in their nationwide war against motorists. Its deputy leader, Angela Rayner, said as much in the aftermath of their Uxbridge by-election defeat.
This isn't just about London, this is coming to towns and cities across the whole of the United Kingdom.
And in Labour-run Wales, they're introducing a blanket 20-mile-per-hour speed limit on all built-up roads, set to come into force next month. Here's Mark Drakeford laying the seeds for the plan 2 years ago.
Because of the success of 20-mile-an-hour zones in Cardiff, led by a Labour council, the next Labour government, if we are re-elected on the 6th of May, is pledged to make 20-mile-per-hour zones the standard in all urban areas right across Wales. It makes such a difference to the quality of life, as well as to the safety of young children and others.
Mad Dog at it again. And what he didn't tell us is that it would hit the Welsh economy by £4.5 billion over the next 3 decades. And, by the way, a recent poll found that the Welsh people were against the speed limit reduction by 10 to 1. But they do not care. Labour does not care. Well, look, leader of the Welsh Conservatives, RT Davies, is fighting hard to stop the scheme, and I'm delighted to say he joins me now. So, Andrew, look, this is so shocking. It's just so shocking because Drakeford doesn't care that the Welsh people are against this, yet he's going ahead with it.
Well, good evening, Dan, and thank you for having me. I mean, Mark Drakeford in that clip you just showed said about quality of life. Because these proposals are coming in now on September the 17th, we're already seeing bus services being withdrawn from many parts of Wales. Only today, Cardiff Bus announced that they were withdrawing services for the St Fagans area, where the Welsh Folk Museum is located, and that's in Mark Drakeford's own constituency. 20-mile-an-hour speed limits do have a role to play in road safety, but outside sensitive sites such as hospitals and schools and other sensitive areas, not the blanket 20 mph that the Welsh Government is bringing in, that, as you said in your introduction, by their own numbers shows it'll cost the Welsh economy £4.5 billion. And far from introducing more safer roads, this potentially could be more dangerous on the roads, because obviously people will be paying more attention to their speedos rather than looking around, instead of looking at what they're meant to be doing on the road. They'll be looking at the speed dial on the car.
All very good points, Andrew. Do you believe, like I do, though, this is part of a bigger plan? I think Labour are going to war on cars. They are going to war with motorists.
Well, it's about control, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yep.
Labour hate people being individuals and having the ability to empower themselves individually. You know, the motor car over the last 100 years has been one of the biggest empowering tools that has been made available to societies across the whole of the world. And this is another plank that Labour want to put down to control people in their everyday lives. And as I said, 20 mph zones do have a role to play in certain areas, outside hospitals, outside schools, and other sensitive sites.
Of course.
But to have it as a
but everywhere. It's nuts. And you're saying, by the way, the Conservatives would get rid of this policy?
That's correct, because we don't believe it should be a national policy across all roads in Wales. And because of the implications to the economy, and also transport experts coming out and saying this isn't a sensible approach to take. Professor Stuart Cole, who was the go-to man for transport policy initiatives to the Welsh Government some years ago, only wrote this last weekend, that this is the wrong policy at the wrong time and will not have the outcomes that the Welsh Government have told the people of Wales that it will have. In fact, it could actually see an increase in casualties on roads, and ultimately it'll have a big impact on the economic performance of Wales.
It's the lunacy of it. This is the Welsh version of ULEZ, in that it's a policy that is not supported by the public, it's not backed up by the science, and it's all about control. I completely agree with that. But look, I want to move on, because at the top of the show in my digest tonight, I revealed this really revolting clip of the Labour MP Dawn Butler speaking about your Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, and her race. Look at this, Andrew.
They're kidding themselves and are extremely delusional in thinking that they will be seen differently when push comes to shove. Yeah. They get promoted because of the things that they're saying. So you couldn't really have a white Home Secretary saying the sort of things that Suella's saying and get away with it that easily, I don't think.
So Andrew RT Davies, is Suella Braverman really in her job simply because of her ethnicity, as Dawn Butler claims?
Well, let's look at the current government. Three of the four great offices of state are held by someone from an ethnic diverse background: the Prime Minister himself, the Home Secretary and the Foreign Secretary. So ultimately, the Conservative Party builds on its empowering role in society to bring people forward who are the best people for the jobs, rather than having positive discrimination and quotas put in place. The Conservative Party is all about empowering individuals to come through and shine and make a difference in society. And Suella Braverman, along with other colleagues, have put themselves forward for public service. They're doing a sterling job in the roles that the Prime Minister has chosen to put them into in his government in difficult circumstances. The Labour Party, for example, voted over 70 times against the immigration bill, which has been taken through the House of Commons and the House of Lords by the Home Secretary. And this indicates what Labour's all about. It's about envy, it's about class war, and it's about putting people down and putting people in their place as they see it. This from an MP who serves in a party that's never had a female leader, yes. And we've had 3 female leaders.
Very good point. Very good point. Andrew RT Davies, leader of the Welsh Conservatives. Absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.